So today we're joined by Ed Unruh again.
Ed,
Welcome everybody. What is up?
what was the episode he was on last time?
Episode 5 or something.
Sure.
Welcome back.
It's
How
a
are
while
you
back.
doing?
You know, I'm just kind of enjoying this off time, even though it's troubling times. Just good time to reevaluate my moral compass and whatnot.
I heard that school is is it shut down for the rest of the year, or has T not decided yet?
That's the hope. I'm hoping personally that we're done for school for the year. But here's the sad part is the seniors, man. They're getting robbed for the end of the year.
Yeah, no senior prom, none of that. Man, that's actually sucks. What the hell?
You know, it's kind of weird. Being the college student I am, several of my friends have already said that their colleges have gotten shut down the rest of the year.
Really?
So USF might be.
See, if I were a freshman, a sophomore, or a junior, I'd be totally okay with
Yeah,
that.
I
But as
don't
a
care.
senior, there's so much stuff to
Oh.
do, you know?
You know, and that's the worst part. Like, honestly, I don't care. There's a part of me that's like, all right, it'd be nice to finish school this year just because we made it this far. But
Right.
a bigger part of me that's like, can we just be done for the rest of the year? You know?
Okay. Welcome to Small YouTube Channels Talk Podcast. We're going to run the intro right now.
Warning, the following pre-recorded podcast will blow your mind. Broadcasting to Anchor, YouTube, Spotify, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts. Recorded in Cole's parents' basement. This is Small YouTube Channels Talk.
Welcome back
to the Small YouTube Channels Talk Podcast.
I am Cole James Anderson.
I am Eddie Unruh.
I am Brock Anderson.
And I am Dusty Lenz.
That's right. Okay. We're all here. We're chilling today.
We're chilling like villains.
If there's like a little bit of like a gap in between me and Ed talking, it's because we're currently sharing a microphone. But you know, that's all right. You got to do what you got to do.
Character development,
I'm
people.
gonna be getting the new mixer soon. Maybe next Friday is probably when I'd be buying it. I'm buying tickets to California this Friday.
Really? Wait, is my voice track loud enough? Hello, test. Hello.
Should be.
Hello.
Even if it's not, I can. There's stuff I can do in post.
My bad. We'll
Fix
fix it
in
in
post.
Yeah.
You know how it is.
Anyways, California.
California, yes. So we're gonna be shooting 2 short films. Robert's shooting one for his. I'm shooting one. Already has a name. We're not gonna announce the name yet.
What's the working title?
The working title. I know what the working title is the finished title. So I don't want to. I want it to be.
You just want to drop it like a bomb.
Right. So I've decided that the feature film that I'm making is we're not gonna run it through film festivals this year. We're gonna run it through film festivals next year, mainly because VFX take a long time to do, and I don't think that the film would be ready by the time that submissions would be needed for film festivals. But this film festival that I make this summer, or the short film that I make this summer, I'm gonna try to run that instead.
This Spirit brought up a topic, you know.
Go for it.
All right, so let's talk some opinions now. Beings that we are on the verge of so many different projects right now, right? We got a lot of breads in the oven.
Fingers in a lot of pies.
That's right, but nothing. We don't have any finished products yet. We're about to. I'm thinking, what is your guys' opinion? And this really depends on the project, but overall, what's your guys' opinion on release methods? Is it better to drop some things like a bomb, like kind of like we did with Slick Trigger, or is it better to tease things along the way and build up the hype?
Well, here's my thoughts. When you kind of focus on let's talk about albums, for example. When someone says that they're going to be releasing an album, but they don't give a release date, and it takes a really long time, that can get tedious, and you can kind of just get kind of tired of
forget about
the
it.
waiting. Yeah, and then you forget about it, and then they finally drop it, and sure, you get excited, but you've had this hype build up for so long that when they actually drop it, it's not as good as you hoped.
I think it really depends on the time schedule. If you know that it's going to come out in a certain amount of months, I think then it's okay to tease it. Like, you know, let's look at Slick Trigger behind the scenes, right? I released 2 trailers with no release date, but those were kind of like, you know, small teasers. I kind of had like a good idea when it was going to come out. And then I told myself, you're not going to release another trailer unless you have a release date. And then I decided on a release date, and I knew that it'd come out by Christmas. I'd be done by Christmas. So I was like, okay, trailer with a release date, boom. With other things, because, you know, that's like a bigger project. With other things, let's say like a short film, I think teasing it is good, but that span needs to be a lot shorter.
Yeah.
Maybe a week to a month.
Yeah. I agree with you, because it really does depend on the project. Like a short film is good to just drop on them, because like that's just like a fun thing to just keep the brand name.
Short films are also like really easy to digest usually.
Yeah, they're like snacks.
Yeah.
Whereas a meal, like it's like, all right, we're looking at the menu.
There's an appetizer. There's a dessert.
We've read some reviews.
There's a three. There's
on the
three
restaurant,
courses.
right?
It's a lot more to digest, so you want to give more time to
get
people prepared. Yeah.
It's like if you're gonna eat at a buffet, you're gonna maybe not eat as much the rest of the day.
And the thing is about this short film is if I make like let's call it untitled short film.
Sure.
If I make untitled short film and I want to run it through the film festivals, I'm not going to release it publicly unless it's run through and it's gotten awards, because then when I do release it publicly, it's like, boom. It's like, look at this. I have official selection. It won best director. It won this and won that, because then the hype will help get more attention to it. Versus Slick Trigger, that was just, we weren't going to get in any film festivals, and we didn't.
Right.
That was sort of just like that was all intentional. That was local hype.
Yeah, well, just that whole thing was, let's just make it and see what happens.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
And so what we did for that branding was there really only three things. Obviously, aside from the premiere itself, because there's a lot of branding for the premiere, so that's a whole other story. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about, we dropped a teaser trailer back in like August of 2018.
Well, we
dropped
early in
the official trailer on my birthday in January 2018. No.
Yeah.
2019.
It was before that.
It was 2019. Yep. And then the second trailer came out like the next week or something like that.
A little bit shortly after.
Yeah.
It was like a week or two later.
Yeah. But on the social media presence, that was it.
Yeah.
So I think what I really want to do for at least for my next upcoming feature is lots of like just little things. Like I want to start off with like hitting the Instagram, the Facebook, the Snapchat with just like pictures of us like maybe somebody like standing next to a tree or something, and then just gradually give them more and more. And then by the end, it's like, oh, this is coming out in a month. Sweet. So that way it just builds that momentum, and then everybody's super excited.
See, I'm just having a lot of problems I always had problems with announcing projects and then never finishing them. There's a couple projects that I had like that. Prior was one of those where I tried it 3 times and only one of them did anything actually ever get released. So I don't think that, like, I know I'm gonna make and I'm going to finish Reality Bleeding, but I'm not going to announce. I just totally said it. I'm not going to publicly announce the name because not a lot of people listen to the podcast. I'm not going to publicly announce the name.
You guys are special.
That is. If you listen to the podcast, honestly, you get so like
this is where we get this is where you get all the inside juice.
And no one there's not I don't want to say no one listened to the podcast. If no one listened to the podcast, we wouldn't do the podcast.
Right.
Not as many people listen to the podcast as they view our channels.
The diehards listen to the podcast.
Right,
so
exactly.
Thank you. We love you.
But when we do start filming, that's when I'm gonna do the proper. This is what's doing. We're gonna put it in front of all of the faces and stuff. I think that's just what I'm gonna do because I'm just so scared of ruining commitments.
Sure.
Yeah.
So it's. And a lot of this stuff is step by step. Honestly, with this whole Corona thing going around, and the projects we have, there's a lot of bad sides. So I'm not trying to underplay the virus or whatever, but there is bright sides. And one of the bright sides is this could give us a big head start on these projects because a lot of time off, a lot of places are having kind of slow times right now. This could be our opportunity to, think about it. People are sitting at home. We start filming stuff, get it out there. What are they going to do? Watch movies, watch videos. They can watch our stuff, And
I may be overestimating, the effect we have on people. But honestly, like if we start dropping this, it might give them hope to, want to just keep grinding through this and See, you know what I mean? Like
Just little morsels of joy.
morsels of joy.
Just an escape from the dreary, oh so dreary world.
Dreary, corona-ridden world.
And you can't tell me for 2 seconds that George Soros isn't behind this. Hillary Clinton.
It's it's those elites. Oprah Winfrey.
Oprah. You can't tell me.
Did you see the stuff that's trending on Twitter last night about Oprah Winfrey?
What's happening with Oprah?
Oh my! There are a bunch of. This is all fake, by the way. But someone made a fake report that Oprah got arrested for possession of child pornography and like a whole bunch of other shit, which was like Oprah would never.
Wow.
There's no actual sources to it too. And Oprah tweeted, she's like, "I'm at home self-quarantining from the coronavirus. I'm not." No.
Was it an Onion article or?
No, I don't think it was even an Onion article. Someone just randomly started like rumors about it on Twitter. And you know how Twitter is. Everyone just sees it and they believe it. That's the big problem. You know, people are like, oh, it's the politicians. And a lot of it is politicians spreading fake shit. But then it's people believing, just seeing something on their timeline and not, researching it and see if it's real.
I was looking up pictures of Tekashi 6ix9ine for our most recent vlog, and on Google Images.
By the way, Adventure Vlogs is back.
It's back, yes, and we'll talk about that right after this.
Okay.
This is just an example of how we all fall for it. Like, I was looking at pictures of him, and you know how sometimes it doesn't have the whole title, like of the article or whatever, because it cuts out. It said Tekashi 6ix9ine has died, and I was like, oh, what? On the image, so I clicked on it, and it says Tekashi 6ix9ine has died of ligma, and I was like, okay. Pissed me off, man.
What's ligma? What is ligma? Do you guys know what ligma is?
I think it's a contagious disease that's nothing to joke about.
Yeah. Okay, anyways, so the vlog is back.
The vlog is back.
Tell me how you decided to do it. Why? Cade's back.
Kooky Cade.
Kooky Cade. So tell us everything. You were there. I'll hand you the mic. You can talk about it.
So here's the deal. Dorm Boomin', we all understand the concept. It didn't work out.
But here's the problem with Dorm Boomin' was, first of all, when you try going into college, first of all, freshman year, there's so much stuff you need to do. And throwing a vlog on top of that, it's a lot of work. So, that's kind of where we kind of hit a stride.
And the difficult part was I knew all the stuff that was going to be going on freshman, and I thought it would be a cool experience to take everybody through college. I thought that it would last through all of college, and you could see the character development. And I thought it was going to be really cool. I didn't realize how much actual work I had to do and how much work that would be. And with Late Night Boomin' on top of everything, it's that kind of took the forefront of a project, But then we decided, like, you know what? Everybody's back now.
The gang's back in town.
Gang's back from this virus thing. Decided to make a video because we were bored, and lo and behold, we're going back to our roots of adventure vlogs.
And I think, honestly, the most success we've had on all of YouTube has been through adventure vlogs. So, hopefully we start kind of hitting...
Can we talk about why that is? Why... Does it go back to consistency?
You want to know why the vlogs did so well?
Why?
It is because of consistency. That was a big thing that helped. And being consistent with that. Because the good thing about your vlogs is... they could be short and still entertaining, and people would still watch them because they knew that they were going to come out on like Fridays or Thursdays or whatever, right? So that helped. Also, it's adventure vlogs is easily rememberable. Adventure vlogs, come on, who doesn't? When you switched it to Dorm Boomin', like that was also catchy, but the fact that you weren't uploading then regularly, because the big thing with adventure vlogs, why it was so popular, is because you did that 40-week challenge.
Yeah.
Or you need to do some sort of thing where you're uploading it, and you don't want to obviously burn yourself out, but I'm thinking about doing some sort of thing similar, just because, well, at least when I get the camera, because I do want to post and I do want to keep people entertained, and I wouldn't necessarily be doing vlogs, but I need to find something to upload that fits within, that challenges me creatively.
And that's kind of the point we're at right now, is like, we don't at this point necessarily want to go back to the full out vlogging season, because we've got a lot of things coming up, but we do need, I'm really in favor of right now cranking out some short films, not necessarily, some classic TCP stuff, some stuff that's not so serious, some stuff that's cinematically great. I want to really focus and train ourselves in the cinematic side of things, so we're ready to start filming.
Because if Shoreline isn't, as good as we're hoping it will be, then that could actually really be bad for us. You know what I mean? Just mentally.
I disagree.
Honestly, what I think it is we just need as many projects on our waist as possible.
Yeah.
That way we just got as many finished projects, short films, even if it's TCP videos, as long as we keep working, we keep learning.
Yeah, and as long as we keep getting better.
Yeah.
And against that point, we've talked a lot about in the podcast where failed projects, how many failed projects we've had. No failed project has ever been a total failure because we've always learned from it.
You're correct. I do stand corrected. Thank you for that point.
At the end of the day, we're always getting better.
This is true. Last night I decided I took a big old look at my my website and I realized it was very unorganized, and I spent about 4 hours reorganizing it just because I really wanted to not that I wanted to feel professional, but I just wanted everything to feel
accessible.
I want people to be able to look. I'm getting a fucking phone call from Aberdeen, South Dakota. I just want people. I want people to see what we do, and just be able to easily. Oh yeah, that's good, or this and that, and I want a place where I can post, projects, and because not everything ends up on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? Or at least publicly on YouTube.
Something that everything can channel into, where it's all in one. That's exactly what we need, because now we're up to 3 channels now, each with 3 completely different styles.
Yeah.
TCP is our cinematic side, vlog is our real life side, and then Late Night Boomin' obviously is our late night aspect. I actually just made business cards.
Really?
Yeah, they'll be here next week, I think.
What? Ooh. Yeah. What do they look like? Give me a little bit of a.
Well, one side is white, one side is black. Okay. One side has.
Oh, did you go with the double-sided sort of thing?
Yep. One side has all 3 channels with the updated adventure vlogs. Yeah, it's just something. I mean,
I'm so glad that you brought.
I got inspiration
back.
Inspiration from you.
Oh, really?
Because seeing you interact with all the different places we've gone, here's my card, that's super helpful.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Being able to just always have that.
Exactly.
Yeah, and that's one thing I've always loved about Cole is me and Jack, we tend to, just kind of think about what's next, whereas Cole likes to see the overall of everything. I think we've said that before, but I mean, even with those business cards, you never know when down the road someone might be like, hey, these kids, we saw them around one day. They were actually making some good content. I might search them up, see if we could actually use them,
Yeah, Cole's always been very good at the fine detail,
and that's
sort
why
of thing.
I think the business cards are good.
That are so useful, but are so...
Because you do really well with networking, but the way that you network isn't super professional.
Right, I'm all over the place.
Right, and we need a very professional way of
organization.
I'm thinking about making new business cards, because I have a lot of my old ones, but that information is a little outdated. I have a new email, cole@cjavisuals.com, instead of that colejamesandersonbusiness@gmail.com.
Yeah.
It's a very, very long email and hard to remember too for some people. And then also I wanted to, it's only one-sided, and I want it to be double-sided. So I'm totally ready to spend that little bit of extra money. But here's the thing. We make that company. I got to get new business cards entirely. We got to make new business cards.
Yeah. So for those of you that don't know, Cole and I were just talking about the possibility of starting our own company, film/production company.
Film/production company. Yeah.
I think it'd be super cool, super helpful. Again, a lot of things have to fall into place, but
my biggest thing is I want to move out, and I want to work for myself, and the best way to do that is to, honestly, if we start now and we slowly work up where we're making a decent amount of income, then when the time does come, we'll be set.
Exactly.
Then we can, I mean, if everything goes perfect, which of course we're going to hit bumps, but we could get an office, we could be fully moved out. If we're smart enough, we're making a decent amount of income.
Yeah, we've got our own warehouse, a hangout pad, throw a couple couches, PS5s in there. Right. Which, by the way, woke up early this morning to go watch PS5 reveal. They didn't reveal anything.
I thought they were going to.
They were going to, and they're like, the guy said that one of their speeches was canceled, and I'm like, oh, okay, well, let me see the PlayStation.
This goddamn coronavirus.
Yeah, and so then I was like, okay, well, I don't know why they needed to cancel that, but at least we get to see the PS5, right? The whole thing was them talking about the SSD, the hard wiring, mapping, trace sketching, and I was like,
The stats for nerds.
and I was waiting for from 11 to 12 today, watching that whole boring thing. Nothing. They didn't even show the controller.
And that's what you're looking forward to? The controller?
Yeah. I was pissed.
The Xbox Series One X they've already showed, they're already showing the controllers and what's in it. I'm surprised. PlayStation's behind the game a little bit this year.
It's sleazy.
They're sleazy.
I think everybody's using Coronas as an excuse to not do things. PlayStation.
I half agree. I do think it's a serious thing that's obviously we need to take seriously, but the media is obviously making it way worse than it actually is. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I don't know. I just get so frustrated by the media sometimes. Anyways, Jack's gonna pop out for a second. Ed, so you haven't been going to school.
Right.
You don't have any school this week or next week.
Hopefully the week after that, too.
And hopefully the week after that too. So tell me, you've been working on any projects, right? I know you wanted to do like writing, right?
Yeah, there's been some, this might sound weird and it's not really about filmmaking, but there's been some novels I've been working on.
Novels.
I'm just really, after playing Red Dead, I actually got inspired by making a kind of a Western novel. And honestly, I mean, we could make that into a fun little short film.
I have a question. After today, or after this podcast, should we go short a little TCP video?
Oh.
Do you think that'd be a little fun?
I think that'd be very fun.
So yeah, I think I haven't been in a classic TCP video in a while, and then it'd be a good, cleanse,
a body cleansing.
Yeah, because I've been working really deep on that short film script and the feature script, and I feel like
actually,
if we could just do a quick TCP video, that would you really cleanse me up. Yes, I'll take a Mountain Dew.
Thank you, Brock. Actually, I know what we can film. Oh yeah, that crispy.
That ASMR.
That crispy.
That was probably really loud. It spiked.
So just tell me what you think of this idea. I finished writing a song.
By the way, we should talk about that. Jack, what are your plans for the album?
Yeah, so I was actually
album confirmed. What?
I don't know. I've got like multiple songs that are like right on the edge of completion right now.
Sure.
Very, very heavily inspired by The Weeknd, especially Blinding Lights.
God, it's such a good
their new album.
I'm so ready for that album to come out because
it drops today on the podcast. Today
on the podcast today,
not today
on Friday.
For us, but on Friday.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think we could make the music video today.
Whoa!
if you guys are down,
I'm totally down.
Really?
Are you talking about the one with Dad?
With Pop, and then it would be featuring us three.
Yeah, boys, listen up, and girls. Sorry, I don't mean to. I'm just kind of.
Why are you so sexist all the time?
I mean, I'm sexist.
He's about to say the N-word.
Okay, let's not go there. I'm sorry, guys. I am not a racist.
It's a reoccurring joke.
It's a podcast joke.
Okay, all right, gotcha. But yeah. So as you guys know, for Slick Trigger, our dad actually did make a song, and it was awesome. And props to Pops for that.
Alone.
And so and Jack made a really cool song for this upcoming Shoreline, and we're gonna have Dad sing it and start a music video. And Jack got inspired by the Blinding Lights music video, which is a very cool one.
Have you seen the Blinding Lights music video?
I have.
It's so
very good. I watched it the
good.
night that it came out.
Probably my favorite music video ever.
It's
and that's
so
a big.
good.
It's just.
very
I mean,
good.
the song, the video, just the energy.
The energy,
You know?
It's the style of the film. It's heavy.
It is.
Heavy,
the synthy. Super
it's unfortunate that we can't license that song. That would be perfect for the film.
I heard a rumor that it was leaked. So
Slick Trigger too.
It's all over Twitter, blowing up over. No, they rumor is that GTA 6 is going to be revealed sometime between Friday and Wednesday.
I don't know if I believe that them announcing it, but I definitely believe that it's going to be their next game.
Well, because this guy leaked it on this website, and he had a very, very similar leak for Red Dead 2, and he was right.
Whoa.
So I don't know.
Wow.
You guys will know by the time this podcast
Just a
comes
lot
out.
going on.
Lots going on.
Surprisingly, a lot going on with this Corona thing.
There's a lot going on.
Because it feels like for a while that's all that people were talking about.
Seems like, I mean, there's a very dead winter, and we've talked about this before, how nothing was going on, and now everything's just popping.
Speaking of Corona and, things are being delayed by it, what are your guys' thoughts on Fast and Furious 9 being delayed a whole year and a month? I think that's absolutely
unnecessary and ridiculous.
It stings. You know why? John Cena was going to be in that one, and that's the only reason I was going to go watch it.
And now we can't see him.
Fucking dude, that hurts my heart.
That
was going to be a
good
action film. I don't know. They moved No Time to Die to November.
Really?
Yeah. Dude,
2020 is supposed to be the year of movies. Literally, when 2020 started, I was like, "Dude, this is going to be awesome."
March. What the hell has been this year?
This is a wasteland at this point.
But they have not changed yet. Is Tenet?
Really? That's still coming out in June, May.
Dude, we're going. No, it's coming out in July. Us three. We're going to Minneapolis for a weekend, and we're going to an IMAX theater.
Yes.
We're doing it.
We're doing it.
We're doing it.
We're gonna get some crack cocaine.
Dude, that'd be a great Adventure Vlogs vlog. Ooh. Seeing Tenet and IMAX.
Meeting Christopher Nolan.
Meeting Christopher Nolan. That'd be great. We should totally do that. That'd be a great vlog. That'd be just fun. Yeah, let's do it.
Why the frick not?
Why the Fuck Podcast by Robert Welch.
Is that actually his podcast name?
It is.
Okay, so I think if we do that vlog, we need to stop at Dick's Last Resort, because last vlog, that was gold on there.
If you guys remember.
The only problem is Korosh threw up off of their mozzarella sticks.
Yeah.
If the gang wants to come too, the classic AV gang, that'd be great.
Just make a big old trip out of it.
Honestly,
wait,
my
what is an
favorite of the
IMAX
gang,
theater?
other than you, of course, and you, of course,
of course,
would be Cade.
Kooky
I'd
Cade.
love Cade to come.
Everybody loves Kooky Cade.
Everybody loves Cade. Not that I don't like Hunter and
Cramp and
Krampus and Jay, but it's Kooky
Cade. Oh, speaking of which, we were supposed to go see Jerry Seinfeld May 5th. I don't know if
that
that's
didn't
still
get canceled, did it?
I don't know.
Because listen, guys, I don't know if you know, but me, Jack, and obviously Cole. I know Cole you like his stand up a lot. We're all big fans of Seinfeld.
It's my favorite show.
Hilarious.
I just love the simplistic
I don't know
humor.
anything about Seinfeld other than the fact that he made the B movie.
Okay, I stand corrected. Cole, can you at least do your impression of him for us?
My impression is just like of him yelling. Well, give me a line.
Just say, "What is the point of a pony?
What is the point of a pony? What is the point?"
I don't get it. Now, what is an IMAX theater? What's the difference between that and what we have here in Sioux Falls?
What is an IMAX theater? What is an IMAX theater? I thought I was still doing it. It's the higher resolution. That's really what it is. Because film. You know how how film is shot.
Sure.
So film is shot on like a vertical strip. And it's, man, I wish I could draw this out for you. Let me see if there's any paper around here. Fucking
so you podcasters can see.
So you podcast. Oh no. Okay. So no. Imagine a vertical strip. Okay.
Sure.
And the 16:9 or whatever, it's laid out like that on top of each other. So then it's fast. It feeds through the film camera faster. Okay. And it's very, very small. So that can usually be scaled up to like a 4K pretty easily. But the thing is, how film cameras is it's a horizontal strip, so it's laid out like that. So it takes longer for it to reach next frame. An IMAX camera basically shoots in that format where it's the horizontal strip. So then it gets more resolution. So instead of super 35, it's actual 35. It's not as complicated as it sounds, I promise. Okay. But it's just a higher resolution. I think when Christopher Nolan released Dunkirk, he said that if you could upscale, like if you could see Dunkirk's true resolution in IMAX, it's somewhere around 16K. which is crazy.
I would have loved to see that in IMAX.
So
theater.
IMAX, I think, is somewhere around 8 or 10K. It's a really, really high resolution.
Wow.
And then you also get, like the enhanced sound and stuff. It's just gonna be a better experience. Honestly, if
and that's what we need for Nolan.
If they show The Dark Knight again in the near future in an IMAX theater, I need to go see it.
and that's the beauty of Nolan, is that each one of his movies is a true experience.
Right. Question for Cole. So, if I do remember, at our local Century Theater, Stadium 14, we do have an IMAX theater, right? And we do not. You know,
It's an
what's
XD theater.
XD. What would you say an XD theater is?
An XD theater is no different because it's just 3D and it's the enhanced sound. The visuals are not changed.
It's basically
So it's still 4K, which 4K is great, but it also allows for 3D.
it's a scam and a ploy for more money for the theater.
It's honestly all it is.
Yeah.
But no, IMAX is just like the best. I don't want to say the best, but it's pretty damn good.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's yeah. You get what I'm saying.
Yeah, I get it. I'm flushing what you're pooping.
Yeah. Well, flushing what I'm pooping on.
You know what I love though is like, wouldn't you say 16K is literally better than the human eyesight?
Probably. Yeah.
It's not even possible.
I
is
don't
it?
know.
Yes, it is.
Probably.
Well, why would it make a difference? Because even if you're watching it on a screen, it's not like your eyesight could do any
Well, the
better.
thing is about eyesight is you can't really measure the human eyesight in like a resolution because
we can
there
s-
isn't
we-
like
yeah, we don't have pixels.
You know, it's more like
We're
film.
seeing everything how it actually is.
It's more like film, where film is not pixels. Actual film is like celluloid, where it's like little tiny dots that are all different sizes reflecting light. That's basically how our eyes work, but in a very, very small sort of way. So there probably is like some sort of perceivable max resolution, but there's no real way of us to measure that, I think.
Isn't that crazy that when you look at something, you're seeing it in its absolute, like you could look at the highest quality camera, but it's still.
Well, no, the thing about this is when you're looking at something, you're not actually looking at it. You're looking at the light reflecting off of it. Isn't that
Wah, wah, wah. Christopher Nolan's next movie.
That's what makes the whole thought of it insane. Because I'm not actually looking at you. I've never actually looked at you. I'm always looking at the light reflecting off of you. Dun dun dun.
That can't be true. What about when I touch this here desk? I'm touching it.
Yeah, you're touching it. You're not actually touching it though, because the molecules are pushing away. That's what makes you feel the force. And those molecules never actually touch. They just push each other.
So you're saying when I touch a hot stove, I'm not actually touching the hot stove.
You're touching the the molecules are pushing away. And I know you're not like, you're never actually like, you're technically floating right now. You know what I'm saying?
I'm floating.
You're floating. You know, you've always been able to fly. It's
Hey.
just sometimes.
And that's truly a metaphor for life. You know?
Right. You know, it's really, yeah.
Here's kind of a mind fart. So Vsauce, right?
Before you continue, we're gonna go to an ad break, because I know that this is gonna.
Right after
you're about to
mine.
go into a weird place. I can just tell.
Right after mind fart.
Right after this ad break. Welcome back. Okay, Ed, go on.
Okay, so here's Ed's weekly mind fart. You know, because that's a running segment now. I'm joking.
One time.
Isn't it kind of funny? Okay. So I was watching this Vsauce video a few years ago, and I've kept thinking about it since then. And it's the title of the video is "Your Red Might Not Be My Red," and it's the thought that everyone perceives color differently, and there's no way of knowing, and that kind of makes me go insane sometimes.
Now, on the same side of the coin, I've thought about this before. The premise of the video is, what if when you look at red, you see my purple or...
Right, yeah, that's basically what it is.
I don't know if that's true because...
Does it matter? Here's the real question. Does it matter?
No, it doesn't.
Right.
But then how would
If
graphic
your
design
purple
work?
is my red, it doesn't matter because you grew up with it. That's just the norm to you, you know?
And how, if that was true, then how do we get like graphic design? Like if your red was like brown and your blue was like purple, then the American flag would not look cool to you as it does to me.
Well, they might think, they see the whole world differently, you know? So they would associate those colors just the same as we do. So it might not look good, great to someone else who doesn't see those colors as that person would see them, but that's just, man, it's a complicated.
Yeah.
It's complicated.
It's really a metaphor for life.
It's really what it is.
And here's another thing, moral compass wise.
Moral compass. God damn.
Like, I mean,
compass.
this could even lead into the idea of what if, like, Cole what if Cole's seeing a color that doesn't even exist to me? The idea of colors that don't exist is a very weird idea as well.
Brown doesn't technically exist.
Why do you say that?
Brown is just orange but darker.
And here's another thing. It says, I think, I might be wrong here. Isn't it say in heaven that there's colors that don't exist on Earth?
I believe that was a rumor in the book Heaven is for Real, and the book Heaven is for Real is a sham. Don't believe it. But after you said brown is dark or orange, I'm looking at brown things in this room, and you're right, and it's really freaking me out. I can see it in everything I look at.
Yeah. So, I mean,
That's going to mess me up for life.
There's a YouTube video that explains it a bit better, but basically, if you look at brown against a dark background, it's going to look like a dark orange. But then you put it on or maybe it's backwards. I don't know. Basically, like, you switch the background and the color stays the same, but it feels different. It's a very weird
and that's just
thing.
a metaphor for life, really.
It's really all it is. It's a metaphor for life. Yeah, I don't know. It's when I found that out, I was like, yeah, it makes sense, because like you don't see brown in the in the rainbow. Brown isn't on the pride flag. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's a darkened version of orange.
Right. It's not technically a real color, because you can't make neon brown.
No, yeah, you can't.
That's basically it's.
Can you make a light that is brown, that emits brown light?
Is it right if I switch up the subject quick?
Go for it.
Okay, so if you guys are Netflix users, you'd know that I think recently, earlier this month, maybe last month, they dropped Shawshank Redemption on there, and I recently rewatched that, and I've decided it's literally a top 5 movie of all time.
Really? Why?
It's so good.
Explain.
It's so good.
Explain your reasoning.
Every time I watch it, it gets better.
Well, okay, first off, there's symbolism in the movie that kind of it made me just feel so different. Like, at the beginning of the movie, you see the character, Tim Robbins, obviously, Andy Dufresne, you see him walking into the prison, and, like, it's like a high shot. It's like him looking up, and like he's going into the prison. It's just overwhelming, and it gives me the idea of like you're going into a place that you'll never come back out of, and it's just such a powerful cinematic scene. And then in general, that movie is just absolutely smart.
Why?
The acting, the writing, the casting. It's a perfect adaptation of the book. It's literally like, when you want to look at adapting a book to a movie, you look at how Shawshank Redemption did it, because it did it losslessly without losing quality of the book, but changing it into the right medium and doing it the same. It's also on par with The Green Mile. I'd say is one of the best films of all time. Have you seen The Green Mile?
I still have not seen The Green Mile.
It's one of those films that you watch it, you will never forget about. Like, it's not like, you're thinking about it right after, because obviously you will, because it's like a really deep movie. But like when you think about, some of the best films that you've ever seen, you'll be like, oh, Green Mile.
Really?
It's just so heartbreaking. Shawshank Redemption is just so uplifting. Both of those films were made by the fucking guy who made the first season of The Walking Dead and then got fired.
Really?
Yeah. That's
that.
why the first season of The Walking Dead is honestly the best season.
It's only downhill from there.
It's only downhill from the first season. Because it went from The Walking Dead went from 6 episodes the first season, and they were going to do like a whole bunch of shit with it. They were really trying to, and it did really well.
Then why did he get fired?
And then budget cuts happened, and AMC ordered 16 episodes for season 2, which they didn't have the budget for that. And then they also said, yeah, bye to the showrunner, who was the guy who like directed it.
Bye.
And he was, and it kind of sucked because he like brought in a lot of people that he had worked with before on it too. So there were all of a sudden actors who are working on this TV show that, they were only on it because they were only taking small paychecks because they loved working for the guy who started it, and now they're working for fucking corporations and bullshit. I don't ever want to get to that point. Yeah, that's the only AMC only did that. AMC could only do that to The Walking Dead. They couldn't do that to Breaking Bad or Mad Men because those two films were owned by those two shows were also owned by different companies.
Wow. I hear some of these businesses are really corrupt. A&E, is that what it's called?
AMC.
No, the other one.
A&E, yeah.
I heard because they had Duck Dynasty on, and I heard they started adding in like beeps and stuff when they didn't even swear just to make the show juicier, and apparently the Robinsons got very upset about that.
Yeah, there's just a lot of companies that are super just it's all money. That's all just they want. And that's why I want to start a company because
it's clean.
Because
fresh.
we gotta do it our own way.
It's hip, it's new, it's young.
That's right.
It's wow, it's here and how. Anyone know the movie?
Spider-Man 2.
He said Spider-Man 2. If you didn't hear him. Dr. Octopus. Dr. Ock. Doc Ock.
Doc Ock.
If there is,
I have an idea.
Here, let's go
Dr.
around.
It's genius, sir.
If you could remake any film and it'd be by you.
It's a Wonderful Life.
Okay, why?
Best movie of all time.
Yeah, but why would you want to
Ever.
touch that?
I know that's
It's
true.
just
It's
golden.
just so gold. Such a absolutely gold. Like
If I wanted to remake a movie, I'd choose a movie that had an amazing concept, but then executed it terribly.
that's fair.
That's what I'd
so,
choose.
Okay, I restate that. I take that back. Edit that out of the podcast. Do whatever may be necessary.
Whatever said moral compass,
It's staying in.
it's staying in.
if I had to reboot, that's a tough call. I have to think about that one.
How about Replicas with Keanu Reeves? That's a good concept. I thought that movie was gonna be a hit, but then apparently it was just really crappy. And if I remember right, it's about a guy who tries remaking his family after they die, right? And they just kind of turn whack or whatever. But I don't know. It just sounds like an interesting plot.
What was that Netflix movie with Will Smith and the orcs and shit?
Oh, Light.
Bright.
Bright, yeah.
That was a good concept, but it was executed horribly.
I don't know.
I would like to. I think that one has potential if it was written well.
Suicide Squad does too.
Suicide Squad, that's another one for sure.
Because that movie was way overhyped.
Yeah.
I mean, it had so much potential, but the movie sucked.
The trailer was great and the film was shit.
The cast was
That
awesome.
movie won an Oscar
Did it?
for makeup. But you know what?
It was good makeup.
They did deserve the makeup. I'll
It was
give
great.
them that much.
It was a great concept. You know what movie was trash front to back?
What?
Justice League.
Didn't ever see it. Honestly, I don't want
see
to.
it. Don't waste your life. It was garbage. I could tell from the very first scene, the CGI is awful. Yeah, DC is struggling right now.
Speaking of which, that new Wonder Woman 1984. I didn't see the first Wonder Woman, so I don't really have much to judge off of. But like, the trailer just did not grasp
it
me
looks
at
good.
all.
They grasped me.
I personally don't think
Because I
that-
like the feel of it. I like the feel of the
It's kind of dumb, honestly.
No, I'm looking forward to
Another
that one.
movie. What's a movie you said that everyone loved, but you really just could not get into or like?
Basketball.
Yeah, that movie's dumb.
Basketball is the dumbest movie I've ever watched. And like, I'm all about dumb humor, but that wasn't even funny. Like, just. You ever seen Basketball, Cole James Anderson?
Don't waste your time.
Don't waste your time.
One of the movies for me, I'd say, is I'm trying to think.
The Interview
here.
is another one for me.
No, I loved The Interview. I thought the movie was
It
hilarious.
was 2014 humor at its peak.
I also
Like,
thought
if
that-
I had seen it when I was 13, I would have laughed. But no,
I also thought that Pineapple Express is kind of an underrated movie. It has a really good storyline and it's funny.
I would remake Slick Trigger.
yeah, there this.
If we could properly execute that film with like a budget, really, really high, cool special effects and stuff.
Take our time on it.
That would be such a
That would be so
film.
cool. Yeah,
Like obviously it's fucking iconic now.
It
but
is.
like,
It's-
imagine if we would have had a budget.
it's reached icon status.
So I've decided what we're gonna do with my dad's van for Reality Bleeding. So
Tell the viewers what you have.
Okay,
in
so-
the van.
So we have this really, really old, crappy van. And I told my dad, I asked him, can I trash this van for my movie? And he goes, well, I can't just give it to you. And I was like, okay, how much do you think it's worth? And he goes, I might be able to sell it for $300. So I was like, okay, I'll give you $300 for it when I need to do this. And so I am like, okay, so when I want to shoot it, I'll give him $300, and now I got to find some way that I would wreck it and, get it towed away, blah, 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 whatever. And initially I was like, oh, maybe have someone crack throw a rock into the windshield, or, I was going to, in Demons, it was going to be, get shot up, but then I didn't know how I was going to do that. And then I realized at the very beginning of Reality Bleeding, there's a scene where there's a car crash and one of the cars is tipped over. And I was like, perfect. I was like, why didn't I think of that? I was trying to find a reason, and I'd literally already written it.
That's awesome.
So here's the logistics problem. I think we can pull this off in T, because the scene happens at night. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to get a street closed off. We're going to have to get a whole ass street closed off, or at least between 2 blocks. Tip over the car, and then shoot what we can in a couple hours, and
flip the car back over,
and then have someone come tow it.
Oh, have somebody come tow it. Yeah.
That's what we're gonna have to do, and that's gonna be like crazy, because we're literally gonna have to. We're gonna park it in the spot, and I'm gonna get out, and I'm gonna be like, okay, all right, on 3, everyone lift the car, and we're just gonna.
If we have the street closed off, we'll probably have the cops there too, so they could help.
Exactly, yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why we would need the street closed off.
Yeah.
Because, and then once that's done, then we're gonna have to get it back on its side.
Are you gonna break the windows so it looks like glasses all over the road too? Because that could pose a problem.
Well, we can bring like brooms and stuff and clean it up ourselves.
True, yeah.
As long as we're responsible about it, I have no problem.
Easy.
But I think that in Sioux Falls, there's no way I feel that we'd get that
we can
approved.
do that in T.
But I feel like in T,
because we're already in good with the cops.
right?
Here. It's not about what you know; it's about who
we
you
give
know.
it time too. We'd be like, hey, this is what we want to do. We can get shit figured out.
Exactly.
Does it take place on like a gravel road, or is it in a neighborhood? Because that could pose a problem as well.
The good thing is, well, the only thing that I know is that there needs to be a street light, because I wrote in that the character looks up as street light, and that's like the thing that kind of like, because there's a moment where she's inside and she's looking at the ceiling light, and then it changes to a street light, and she's like all of a sudden in a different location,
Insane.
So that's, I at least need that much.
Sweet.
But that could be rewritten even if we can't.
How's the script coming, by the way?
It's slowly coming along, but I'm going to try to have it done by the end of this month. We're going to start meeting with actors, hopefully. And then once I have my camera, we're going to start doing test shoots.
Aren't you casting Ed?
Ed's in it. Brock's in it. Lauren's in it. I'm trying to confirm Kim's in it.
Robert Welch.
Robert Welch is not in it. Brandon Friesen's in it though. He has a cameo. He has a voice. You know PT? Do you know what PT is?
Physical therapy.
No, playable teaser. It was a teaser for the game Silent Hills before it never came out.
Okay.
There's like a radio that plays this guy. Like this guy is like on the radio talking about like this murder, and then it gets creepy later, and his voice gets distorted. Blah blah blah. There's basically going to be kind of something similar, and we're going to use Brandon's voice.
Sweet.
Basically, what it's going to be. So yeah, lots of and you're going to be playing one of the characters as well.
Marcus.
Yep, that's not his name. Marcus. Look how he just came up with that. I mean, hey, we could use that too. I mean, that's a good name. I think his name is Hunter.
Oh.
I can't remember.
Logan.
Anyways, yeah. So
What
I
have
mean,
you
that's just how it be. Jack and Ed. What are you guys? You guys have any projects that you've been working on? I mean, you guys have been home alone doing nothing. There's got to be something you guys got to been doing.
Well,
Eddie, no, I've been working on music.
Okay, I've been busy working on my Fortnite game.
Cranking 90s.
They
talk about his snipes.
They talk about my mess up. But yeah, so I don't know if you guys heard, but Fortnite is coming out with a Travis Scott skin.
Yeah, I just heard that.
Anyways, that's probably way off topic from anything we've been talking about.
It was a filmmakers forum talking about the Travis Scott skin.
Anyways,
I don't care.
Let's talk about Breaking Bad.
How much time we got? Because we got to start filming the music video also.
Well, let's talk about Breaking Bad.
Okay, guys. Thank you.
All right. Well,
we're gonna go film this music video. Thank you guys so much for listening to the podcast.
You guys are the best.
Sorry, it's ending a little bit early.
Stay fierce, Queen.
Jack has an Instagram account. Yeah, go tell him your shit.
Adventure Vlogs, Late Night Boomin', The Cheese Puffs. I can say Adventure Vlogs on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook.
Cole James and CJA Visuals, Anderson Visuals on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, all your places. Instagram, anchor.com. Yeah.
Eddie Unruh with 2 H's. Instagram.
That's where we be. That's where you can stalk us. Don't forget to, subscribe to the podcast and rate it so then more people can listen to it. It gets, gets more popular.
Daddy in My Eyes 3 is coming out soon.
Daddy in My Eyes 3.
Daddy in My Eyes, the video game.
We haven't made 1. What are you talking about? Or 2, yeah. Okay. Anyways, thank you guys so much for listening to the podcast. We hope you enjoyed. We will. I'm gonna hit pause on the recording for this week, but don't you worry, because we're gonna record another episode of the podcast next week on Small YouTube Channels.
Hey.
Peace.
Thank you for listening to Small YouTube Channels Talk Podcast with Cole James Anderson and Jack Unruh. And don't forget, new episodes every Friday.